Good morning. Today is Tuesday, July 21st. Start of the morning has arrived. The alarm rings. The room is still quiet outside. The world is slowly beginning to move. People are waking up. Lights are turning on. Motorbikes are leaving their home. Cars are entering the road. Some people are going to work. Some are taking their children to school. Some are already thinking about everything they have to do to die. And perhaps somewhere among all these people there is you, sitting in a car looking at the road. Our heat beginning. Another ordinary day made today will be a good day. Made today will be difficult. Made there will be unexpected problem. Maybe someone will say something that makes you uncomfortable. Maybe work will be stressful. Maybe you will receive news you did not want to harm. Maybe nothing special will happen at all. But whatever today brings, there is one thing we often forget. World outside us is always moving. Galways changing, galways making noise. But we do not always have to move with all of it. Do not have to react to everything. Do not have to answer every opinion. We do not have to explain ourselves to everyone, and we do not have to carry every problem. We see sometimes the greatest peace in life does not come from changing the world around. It comes from learning how to remain calm while the world continues to change. There is an old idea that says when the mind is restless, everything becomes complicated. When the heart is calm, even difficult things can become easier to face. It is a simple idea, but perhaps, like many simple ideas, it takes a lifetime to truly understand. Because when our minds are disturbed, even small things can feel enormous. A short message can make us worry. For us, a simple comment can stay in our minds all day. A small mistake can make us question ourselves. A problem that could have been solved calmly can become much bigger because we react too quickly. Sometimes the problem is not only what happened. Sometimes the problem is the storm that begins inside our own minds. After it happens, we see something, hear something, we experience something, and then the mind begins to create a story. What did they mean? Did they say that went? If something goes wrong, what will happen next? What do other people think about me? If I fail, what if I lose? What if I am not good enough? Own thought creates unauthor. Own worry creates unauthor, and before we know it, we are no longer living in the moment. We are living inside a future that has not happened yet, or inside a past that cannot be changed. This is why sometimes the world feels so heavy. Not because life has suddenly become impossible, but because our minds are carrying too many things at the same time. We carry yesterday's disappointment or worries, other people's opinions, our own expectations, the things we regret, things we fear, things we want, and the things we are afraid of losing. All of these thoughts can exist inside one person. And then we wonder why we feel tired. Sometimes we are not tired because we have done too much physical work. Sometimes we are tired because our minds have been running all diving when our bodies are sitting still. The world outside is already noisy enough. There are catastrophic victimism Endless information, but the most exhausting noise is often the noise inside our own minds. That is why peace is becoming something rare, not because peace has disappeared a bit. Because we have forgotten how to be still, wake up, and immediately look at a screen before our feet even touch the floor. We already know what other people are doing, see their lives, their achievements, their holidays, their success, their opinions, their happiness, and without realizing it, we begin comparing our ordinary morning with someone else's carefully selected moment. Then we wonder why we feel that our own life is not enough. We'll go to work, we'll look at our phones, we'll return home. We look at our phones again before sleeping, we scroll through more information, and then we ask ourselves why we cannot relax. Perhaps sometimes we do not need more entertainment. We need less noiseless, informationless, comparisonless, explanationless attention to things that do not truly belong to us. The world outside will always have something to say. There will always be someone who disagrees with you, someone who misunderstands you, someone who talks about you, someone who thinks they know your life. There will always be people who judge you based on a small part of your story, but you do not have to attend every conversation about yourself. You do not have to defend yourself against every misunderstanding. You do not have to prove your value to people who have already decided not to see. This is something many of us learn only after becoming tired when we are young. We often want to be understood by everyone. You want people to know our intentions. We want people to know that we are good. We want people to know that we treat. We want to correct every misunderstanding. Want to answer every criticism, but as time passes, we begin to understand something that everyone will understand. Using that is okay. Some people will only see what they want to see. Some people will only hear what they want to hear. Some people will create their own version of you, and no matter how much we explain, they will still believe what they choose to believe. At some point, peace becomes more important than being understood. Silence becomes more valuable than winning an argument, and walking away becomes wiser than continuing to explain. This does not mean that we should become cold. It does not mean that we should stop cringe. It simply means that we should learn where our energy belongs, because our energy is limited, or time is limited, or attention is limited, and every day we decide where to spend these precious things. Can spend them worrying about someone else's opinion. We can spend them taking care of our own life. We can spend them thinking about what we cannot control. We can focus on the small things that are still within our control. We cannot control the traffic, but we can control our patience. You cannot control the weather, but we can control how we respond to an inconvenient day. We cannot control what people say, but we can control whether we allow their words to live inside our minds forever. Cannot control the past, but we can choose what we learn from it. It cannot control the future, but we can choose what we do today. This is where peace begins, when everything becomes perfect. But When we stop demanding perfection from life, will always have problems. Even the happiest person has difficult days. Even successful people have worries. Even people who look confident sometimes feel lost, who often look at other people and imagine that they have found the answer, but we rarely see the things they carry. Quiet Livion has a private struggle. Livion has something they do not talk about. Tevayoni has moments when they question themselves. The difference is that we usually compare our entire life with only the visible part of someone else's life. That comparison is never fair, so perhaps today you do not need to become a completely different person. Perhaps you do not need to solve your entire life. Perhaps you only need to make your mind a little quieter just for a few minutes. Look at the road, notice the morning light, notice the movement of the world, notice your breathing. You are here, you are alive. You are moving forward. Maybe your life is not where you wanted it to, babe. You are still here. Maybe you have made mistakes, but you are still learning. Maybe you have lost something, but you are still capable of beginning again. Maybe you feel behind, but life is not a race with one finish line. People arrive at different places at different times. Some people find success early, some people find peace late, some people build their lives slowly, and there is nothing wrong with moving slowly. A tree does not become strong in one day. A road is not built in one morning. A life is not created by one decision. It is built through thousands of ordinary days. When you go to work, days when you are tired, days when you continue even though no one notices, the days when you choose not to give up. These ordinary days may not look important, but one day you may look back and realize that they were building your entire life. So do not underestimate the ordinary. A simple morning can still be meaningful. A quiet drive can still be important. A normal day can still be a gift. We often wait for something big to happen before we allow ourselves to feel grateful. Wait for more money, a better job, a bigger house, a perfect relationship, a successful future, and while waiting for those things, we forget to notice what we already have: the ability to wake up, the ability to breathe, the ability to work, the ability to travel, the ability to call someone we love, the ability to begin again. These things may seem ordinary, but to someone who has lost them, they are everything. Maybe happiness is not always about getting more, maybe sometimes happiness is realizing that we already have enough for this moment, not enough for the rest of our life, not enough to stop growing, but enough to be grateful today. There is a difference between ambition and endless dissatisfaction. Nation says he want to grow, he want to improve, he want to build something better, but endless dissatisfaction says waver. I have is never enough. Someone else always has more. Am always be Hindi can only be happy after I achieve the next thing, and then the next thing, and then another thing. If we are not careful, we can spend our entire lives chasing a future that keeps moving further away. So it is okay to want more. Right is okay to have dreams. It is okay to work hard, but do not forget to live while you are building your future. Do not postpone all your happiness. Not tell yourself that you will rest only after everything is perfect, because life rarely becomes perfect. There will always be another problem, another responsibility, and another thing to worry about if you wait for a completely problem-free life. Before allowing yourself to feel peace, you may wait for the peace is not the absence of problems. If you wait for a completely problem-free life before allowing yourself to feel peace, you may wait for the peace is not the absence of problems. Peace is the ability to remain calm while facing them. Life will never be completely clear. There will always be something to worry about. There will always be people who misunderstand you. There will always be things that do not go according to plan, but you do not have to react to everything. You do not have to carry every problem with you, and you do not have to solve your entire life to times. You only need to take the next step, only moment at a own day, at a own road at a time. So, as you continue your journey today, try to worry a little less about things you cannot control, listen a little less to unnecessary opinions, compare yourself a little less with other people, and give yourself a little more peace. You have already survived difficult days. You have already overcome things you once thought you could not overcome, and even if you are not where you want to be yet, you are still moving forward. That is enough for today. So take a deep breath, look at the road ahead, and allow this day to unfold. You do not need to know everything. You do not need to control everything. You only need to keep going slowly, quietly, step at a time. May your mind become a little quieter. May your heart become a little lighter, and wherever your road takes you, may there always be a little cool wind beside you, a little light ahead of you, and a quiet corner of peace waiting inside your heart. Thank you for spending this time with LÄNG RADIO. If you are listening on your way to work, I hope your journey is safe, and if today is difficult, remember the you do not have to solve everything today. Just keep going slowly, quietly, step at a time. Good morning, and may your day be peaceful.